Welcome to Foreshore. I'm your host, Glenn. You know, I think most motorcycles agree that if you don't have any curves in the road, it's going to be pretty boring. There's been a lot talked about curves, and a lot of people have gone through about how to ride through curves, but what we're going to look at today are S-curves. Those are the curves that are kind of a little bit different, and they require some additional attention from you in order to ride it skilled, smart, and safe. Stay tuned. We'll be right back and get you started. So, what are S-curves? S-curves are just basically what it says. They're a curve that kind of looks like an S or similar to an S. Makes a turn and then kind of comes back on itself, which requires you as a rider to ride one curve and then have to flip over and do the other curve. Problem with the S-curve is most of the time you're rather blind before you get around it, and then you got to turn around and look the other direction to come through, which means that your apex, that area that you ride, that line that you got to go through, has to move back and forth. So what we're going to look at here is how do you ride those S-curves and come to a stop safely at the end of them, how to accelerate through them, and how to decelerate through them. Just a short video. Hope you stay tuned, and hopefully you're going to learn something from this. So before we get to S-curves, let's just do a quick review about how to go around a curve in the first place. So here we are in a nice leisurely ride out in the country. We're spending time out around the yellow line so we can see around that curve. As we look down the road, because we should be looking throughout the 14 seconds down the road, we see another curve that makes a sharp left-hand turn. And take a look, the vanishing point. It's short, that means it's sharp. So what is around that corner? As we come through, what we're going to do is swing a little bit wider so that we have a better angle to see around it. As we continue, we notice that, okay, the vanishing point has got less and less. We now come back in, get toward the center line, and that's our apex. So let's take a look at something bikers have a tendency to do once in a while. Oh, there's two bikers, very friendly, they waved. But wait, let's take a look at something that they did very quickly that we might have missed. Here they come again. Look, they're over the line in the death zone. Stay away from that center line when you're making that left turn. In this case, take a look at what this biker did. He slowed down, he did decelerate, but as he came through, let's take a look. Look at the position that he's in right now. He's too close to the right-hand side, to the shoulder. If anything was around that corner, he would have hit it. Now, accelerating around a curve, where does it become very useful? As we merge onto a major highway, and they don't call this an acceleration lane for nothing. What you need to do right now is get your lane, get your positioning. Now we're going to go a little bit wide, and we are going to accelerate to match the speed of what the traffic around us is doing as we merge. So let's take a look at S-curves, or curves that sort of are like an S. So here we are in a place outside of Ottawa. You'll notice the curves. There's one, there's two, and there's three. They're not really S-curves, but they're pretty close to being an S-curve. At the end of each of these roads, you'll notice a stop sign. And they're rather obscured because of the way they come around in an S. As you can see with this picture, it makes a quick left in one. So we're going to go back and look at this particular location and how do we ride that as we come in. So here we are going down the road. We saw these chevrons on the side of the road that tell us it goes to the left. We're staying a bit wide so we can see around it. As we move through, we see a vehicle on the side of the road around the corner. As we are getting through the vanishing point, we come back toward the center line, looking toward our right now. We're setting it up. Note the position of the bike as we come around the corner, getting in an upright position, coming to a full and complete stop using both brakes, making sure we look both ways, and away we go. Now we're heading toward one of the other curves. Slow down, get across, get in our lane position. You'll notice how quickly this makes a left turn. It's hard to see around the corner because the trees are in the way. There's a bit of a straight here. We're sitting out around the yellow line.
As we come through, I'm able to see around the corner. You'll note that where the bike's position is toward the center line gives a good view around. Once we get through, and away we go. Now, as we're heading down the road, we don't want to go this way any farther. We're going to head back. As we come in, there's a chevron telling us it's going to the left. Another chevron, the position we're in, but you'll note there's no sign that tells us there's a stop sign ahead of us. So what we do is get a little wider around the corner so we can see. As we go through, once we can see it, we get closer to the center line to set ourselves up for the next S-curve, looking straight around, and look, there's a stop sign at the end that we weren't told about. We bring the bike to an upright position, come to a nice, smooth stop. Now let's take a look at the head in action here as we go through. You'll note my head is looking around the curve. As we get on to the straight, it's straight on. Now we're looking around the curve to the right. Remember, the bike follows where you look. As the bike comes around and straightens up, we straighten our eyes up and continue on our journey. So, I don't want to go this way anymore. Let's make a left turn. You notice that I look way back and I'm in a position where I can make a U-turn. As we continue up, looking straight ahead, making sure that nothing's coming. Now we're making a left turn, looking around the curve, making sure I can see around as far as I possibly can, looking for anything that could be there. As we have to straighten up and come the other way, into the right-hand turn, eyes right, and we come to a nice stop, bike in an upright position, making sure to check back and forth. Scared because those geese in the background are heading south, and this is April. That's not a good sign. But once the traffic is gone, we made sure everything's clear, one last glance, and away we go. So here we are on the highway. We're heading off one of the major thoroughfares outside of Ottawa. And this is where, getting back and forth and looking ahead, we know we have a car ahead of us. We know this is a deceleration ramp, and now we are slowing down as we come through. We have come from highway speeds down to a safe speed here to stay behind these other vehicles. We made a right-hand turn. Now we're making a quick left-hand turn. We have to choose a lane, making sure we see car up ahead of us, and we're slowing down. And here we are. We're coming in to make a stop and setting ourselves up so we are ready to go.
And that's it. That's how you ride S-curves. That's how you accelerate in an S-curve. That's how you decelerate in an S-curve. That's how you basically do the same with regular curves as well. Hope you enjoyed the presentation, and in our 3RS series of Ride Skilled, Ride Smart, and Ride Safe, that's what it's all about. Until next time, I'm Glenn. I'm your foreshore rider. This is Foreshore Rider Concepts. You can check us out on the web, and if you have any questions, don't be afraid to drop us a line. Take care.